Okay, now we play against Ivkov.
This is a very instructive game because Ivkov was one of the top grandmasters from Yugoslavia. In that time, they have their golden team, the Yugoslavs. I mean, Gligoric, Ivkov, Matanovic, Matulovic, and so on. They were very strong team, and all the Olympics, it was a very big fight with the Soviet Union and Hungary and England and the United States and so on.
So one
They
of
were
the
between the favorites. One of the main chess schools in the world, the Yugoslav school. Of course, it was mostly because of Tito, because he pushed
invested.
a lot and he gave a lot of possibilities, and they organized some very strong tournaments and so on. But of course, the players were also very good, very strong. And it will be a very instructive game because until a certain moment, Ivko put a very nice fight. I mean, the game was very interesting. And the difference was made a little bit later in a very complicated way. You see, first of all, strategical and then tactical until the end. We'll see how. We'll explain. Okay, this is one of the main lines of the Spanish defense. C3 castle H3. And here was this is the so-called Smyslov variation for black. Smyslov invented this with black. The idea is to play H6, rook E8, and so on. This is one of the lines. If black doesn't play like this, the main alternatives are knight A5, knight B8, bishop B7, and so on. Okay, H6, D4, rook E8. Good. And after bishop E3, again, move by move, very interesting. Knight D2. Of course, black can't take the pawn because he loses something. If he takes in D4, takes and knight takes E4, takes, and then bishop D5 attacking the knight from C6 and rook from E4, and white wins.
So if he takes,
Now, if he takes with the pawn now, and now big mistake, knight takes E4. Knight takes E4,
okay.
and takes in E4 and bishop D5, and the black is lost. But okay, big mistake, of course. All right. And here, Queen B1. Everybody is preparing, the line, the next line. Move by move. Very small advantage for white, but complicated. So black tries to defend in the best way by having some counter chances. He tries to counterattack the knight from D8. Later on, because the pawn from E5 will be defended, he tries to come to E6 and maybe in F4, like in the game. All right, so bishop C2, C6, B4, okay? Little by little, white is coming, and he wins a little bit of space here with this idea, before. So we can say that black is waiting, of course, and white is trying to get a little bit more space again, in the next moves. Bishop D3, knight E6, queen C2, again, quiet like this, Rook C8. Well, until now, everything is normal. Small advantage for white. Okay. So now A4. He's trying to do something immediately on the other side. He has to do it because if white doesn't play very quickly like this, black has immediate counterplay with C5. If he didn't play A4, after C5, black probably equalizes immediately. Very, very quickly. So okay, A4. Now,
so with A4 is just to keep
A4, he keeps the tension, and he has some initiative on the queen side. All right, so knight D7. Again, he found the best way to wait. Queen B3. And here he played knight F4. Okay, after knight F4, white has to take a decision. What to do? He gives the bishop or he doesn't give the bishop? Okay, he gave the bishop. Okay. So he gave the bishop, but for this, he has strong initiative on the central squares, So, of course, C4. Now you look, he tries to open completely the position, with white, So black has to react very quickly and very, very well, But how? If you take in A4, it's not so good because white keeps control on the central squares. Now the only way is to take in c4. But if you take in c4, the game again will be very open, you see? And usually in white's favor, So he took in d4, he took with the bishop, and now he played a very good move, d5. Now, if white takes in d5, it's not so much. I mean, black can trade many pieces and have a strong counterplay. So, right, he keeps the turn again, bishop d3, very quietly. But now, Bobby has also a small weakness in b4, it seems, because black has a black bishop,
Yeah.
attacking the pawn from b4. But it's nothing for the moment, The initiative is more important. Until now, it's not clear where was the small mistake from black. Black played very well until here,
Yeah.
But white is still a little bit better all the time, So, okay, queen c3. Again, he keeps the queen on the open line, the open file, and attacks the pawn from c6 and a6. For the moment, black reacts again very well. I mean, playing queen b6 is all right. So now rook b1. He's preparing again. He's very flexible after rook b1 because he keeps the advantage on the central squares. He prepares maybe later on something on the other side. But in meantime, you have to be very careful with the weakness from a6, because you don't have too much space with black. This is the problem. Black has little space here in such a position, So he has to find always the counterplay. Okay, bishop a8. And now immediately a5. Now you have to take a decision what to do. You can't take him before. You have to move the queen, but where? Only in b7 or in a7, because you have to be careful not to lose immediately the a6 pawn.
Yeah.
It's okay. He played queen a7. All right. He didn't lose the pawn. But the position is a little bit passive, you see. So now white reacts very quickly with the move e5. It seems that he closed the position very well, and he prepares something on the other side. Until the end, we'll see he comes on against the king on the other side, by preparing something in meantime on the queen side. It seems that he wants to do something quickly on the queen side, but in reality, he closed the center and he prepares later on something against the black king, All right. Now you can see that the position is clearly better for white because the black's pieces are a little bit artificial. Queen a7, rook b7, bishop a8 is not very normal. It's not such a nice position.
They are cornered.
Yeah. So, okay, now he took the pawn and he gives you the possibility to take back the pawn in b4, but the pawn from a6 is attacked again, So, okay, he took the pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have to demonstrate that you have enough counterplay for this, with black. In meantime, he lost the pawn, but you prepare something tactically with black, All right, so bishop c2, very well, because now he gives the queen the possibility to go back, but attacking something, the queen from d3,
Okay.
Is the open diagonal against the king, So black has to be very careful. Rook e6, queen d3 with tempo. But now, okay, black defended, but white has still the pawn from a5,
Yeah.
So what to do? Queen f5. Now he prepares the attack, White is coming in this position. Queen f5. If you look at the game now, we see the difference. White has a clear advantage, won a pawn in meantime. The pawn from f4 is weak, attacked, and the attack continues, White has always some tactical chances, all the time, So, okay, knight b3. He prepares the next continuation. What to do now? What did he play here? g6, attacking the queen now. He took in f4, and here, again, he found bishop c3. And here, exactly here, look at this, very nicely, not very complicated, but very beautiful. Knight c5, no? Knight c5.
Yes.
exactly in time, Now you have to decide what to do. Every piece is attacked, White has every piece attacked, black the same, But white is coming and has the initiative and the pawn for the moment, What to do? Probably the only way to do like this, And now, very well, knight takes b7.
The other one.
What to do now with black? You have to take in a1, the only move, no?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So he took in a1. He took there. In between, in meantime, he played knight e6. And here, queen f6, preparing the final attack, Now, again, you have to take back the rook, because if you don't take back the rook, exchange down for nothing.
Yeah,
the
but
attack continues.
why he didn't took this pawn?
No.
With
He
the
prepares the attack. You see why?
Mm.
You see, queen f6 prepares the final attack, Rook take. And now the bishop is there, fire away. And he threatens in a few moves mating attack, Queen
Okay.
Knight d6. What to do now? Queen c7, the only move. And here, decisive, bishop takes g6. Look at this. It looked that he played on the queen side, later on the center, and now decisively on the other side, against the weak king. Fantastic game, until now, you see.
Yeah.
And everything is forced. Again. So what to do? Check. 91. Look at this. To avoid that, to trade the queens, because if he played, for instance, king h2,
Yes.
he had time to play, maybe also, he's lost even here, but at least he could avoid mate, after queen f4, queen f4, white is forced to trade the queen. He's also winning for white, but more complicated, not immediately. But after knight e1, he gives a piece, but black is completely lost. But you have to calculate all this,
Yeah.
Okay, so he took, now black is completely hopeless, Knight g5, if not his mate. Bishop takes f7, then black resign, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Forced everything.
Here is mate.
His mate. Yeah.
So if he takes.
Now, queen g6 first. Check. Now where you go?
Maybe you go.
In h8, knight takes f7 mate. In f8, queen takes f7 mate.
Yes.
Beautiful, no? Look at this. Black has two bishops, completely out of play. a8 and e1.
Yeah.
Fantastic, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful game. One of the best. One of the best games of the whole tournament. In Palma de Mallorca.
He played everywhere, on the queen side and the king side.
He was out of this world, if you look at this game, But he prepared little by little, after the opening. Small advantage. A little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger on the queen side. When he finished on the queen side, he found a way to play on the center. He prepared everything tactically against the king, and then it was the attack. And as I told you many times, that was the big difference between Fischer and Tal, for instance. If Tal in such position sacrificed a piece, any opponent had to calculate if it was correct or not. To see it was okay or not. Against Bobby, when he gave a piece, you could resign. That was, everything was perfect, like in this game.
So no risk was
no risk at all. Again, white in such a position, white gives the impression that he plays alone. You can imagine like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, unbelievable. And that was the fantastic difference between Bobby and the others, at the end in his best years like this.
Okay.
It was almost impossible to play against him.
Nice. Thank you, Mr.
Such a force. He was...
We can see.
Yeah. And everybody, could admire and feel that force. As I told you, that was the main difference. Against all the others, you had the impression that you played against a normal human like this,
Yeah,
more or less normal player, even if he was very strong, like Asparov or Karpov or Bordvinik and all the others,
Yeah.
But against Bobby, it was like this. You had, I mean, you felt that it was somebody there who wanted to kill you, in chess.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Look at this.
Yeah.
First mate against a top grandmaster like Ivkov, Nothing to do. Everything first.
Yeah, beautiful.
Of course you admire such a thing. What can you say? It's
True.
unbelievable. It's like a painting. Look at this. The queen without play. The bishop in A1 doesn't play. The bishop from A8 doesn't play. Meantime, the king is alone and mate.
The king doesn't play.
First,
Yes. Yes, beautiful.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay.
And therefore, I tried to show the games from the same tournament because it was one of the best tournaments ever played by Fischer in Palma de Mallorca in 1970. He won them by such a margin, I think 4 points difference from the second or something like this. But in every game, showing such a niveau. I mean, in every game, it was a demonstration. Strategically, tactically, attack, counterplay, mate, attack, everything something different.
So he was really on another level.
No, something out of this world, I tell you. In these years, of course.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Okay. Yeah, a beauty. That. Therefore, I tell you, they change by not allowing him to play against Karpov because that was the truth. They change the history of chess.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Of course, he was also guilty because he had such a reaction and so on. But he was right, of course, because it's unbelievable, to change the rule during the game. They did it, the International Federation, and we had the result. Bobby had to retire because he was furious, of course, afterwards, and he didn't play anymore.
Disappeared.
Such a pity. Such a fantastic player,
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Okay.
What can you say?
Thank you.
You're welcome.